okay, in a straight line, and flatten out those feet on the ground. And just doing that is taking energy, because normally our knees would not want to stay this way. If I just let go, they just kind of open up, right? And as they open up, I kind of shift down here in my core. So I pull my legs together, and that brings my core, my spine straighter, longer, and more defined. Okay. Then my hands are just resting on the top of my thighs. I'm going to go ahead and just find some nice breaths, meeting my mind and meeting my breath together, so that the mind can slow down. We can take this life not 1 year at a time, not just 1 month at a time. So we switch those calendars over. Not just a week at a time. Not just 24 hours in a day at a time. Not separating each hour of the day one into the other. But just coming into each and every breath. Each and every moment. Finding that calm, that coolness, that refreshing sip of air. Cooling yet warming. Balancing and igniting. And there's this word called spanda. Spanda means it's when a spark within us ignites our breath. And then that breath from the spark ignites a movement. And the movement then cycles back to the spark. And we keep that cycle, that motion going, that Oline, okay? That movement, constant movement in our bodies, even when we're sitting in or standing in a mountain pose. The other thing we're going to practice today is something called Shahaja. Shahaja is this form of movement like you do within the womb of your mother, like a child did at the womb in their mother. Movement with intuition, like a child does, that's born and walking and hears music and just dances to it, not being taught anything. So we're going to practice a little bit of that today as well. Let's go ahead and just let our arms fall down. When I say fall down, that's what I want. I want them just to fall down to the sides of your body. And feel that connection with your feet grounded, back of your thighs on the chair, sits bones on the chair, and then root up from there, rising from that root through your spine into the crown of your head. Can you lengthen the spine a little bit more in the cervical area? So even someone like your mom, Rose, if you just work with her on something like this, she will be able to strengthen her own body with the stacking, mindful stacking of one vertebrae on top of the other, letting the arms just fall down, pull down, shoulders away from your ears. And then let's lift our hands up. Just lift them up like puppet arms, okay? Let your fingers fall down and then release. Fingers kind of reach up and let your hands come up down to the sides of you and then let them reach up again. Inhale. Flow them down, exhale. Inhale, lift up. Maybe rising a little bit higher, floating yourself down. So a little bit of like some Tai Chi here, which also incorporates breath and movement. Expand the effect, spark. And I want you to close your eyes and make these movements as low or high as you like. Maybe letting those arms just be a little more flowing. With the flow of those arms, you begin to flow into your torso as well. Creating your own movement. With eyes closed, can be your own movement. We're not looking at others to compare, to contrast, to create our own way. You're just beginning then just to realize what your body wants and needs. How much of an opening or a closure. And yes, it's good to have a guide on the side to help you, give you some suggestions here and there. But you need to be your own sage on the stage. So the way I always taught my classes, as a guide on the side, not a sage on the stage. Even when I was teaching in the classroom, I wanted to learn from my students. I wanted them to show me the way. Let's do a few more. Really coming into your breath and into your own flow of movement. This is something you might feel like, wow, I could keep doing this for a long time. Take note of what you're opening up to and what you're letting go of. Let's do a couple more here. And letting arms come down to the side, chin bows down to the chest. Let your arms dangle forward, pulling at your navel. And then just stay wherever it feels like it's right for you in terms of the amount of forward folding. There's no need to touch toes, to touch knees, to touch ankles. But what I do need and want you to do is pulling at your navel. Be strong there in the core. As you do, feel that effect in your lower spine. That pulling in and strengthening of the core strengthens that lower spine. If you're reaching so low that blocks would help to support you, you can do that. Or you can again just continue seeing where your body is intuitively wanting to release forward.
And then slowly, just really slow, rising back up where you're coming and stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Now we have to resist gravity. Before we were letting go into gravity. Shoulders open, pull down, hands release, and chin lifts up. And we did that ever so slowly so that we didn't have any dizziness, anything like that. So again, back to Rose's mom, or any of us that are constantly doing that forward folding. Are we doing it safely? Do we need to have one of those little things to pick up things? Can we open up our legs and bend into our knees a little bit more to reach down? Can we keep our spine straight as we're reaching forward? Maybe even leaning on something, but reaching forward with that straight spine, okay? And it's this curving that if we don't do it with mindfulness, all right? Like I was reminding you guys, pull in here. And then we also need to do the reverse of that to balance ourselves. So take your hands and hold on to the back of your chair. Hold on there, scoot out to the edge of your chair and let your heart open, and your hands can rise up or stay down. I want you guys to figure out what's right for you. Okay, if I take my hands down farther on the chair, lower, I should say, then it seems like it opens up my heart a little bit more. And I hold on there and I bring my heart forward. I still hold it in at my navel point and let my chest open. Let my lumbar spine find that opposite effect of the forward fold by doing a bit of a back bend here. Building in that strength in the spine, the length in the front of the body. And then coming to a straight spine. Still want some core strength there. Releasing my hands. And I'm going to go ahead now and move into a twist. And as we're thinking about twists, let's take our left hand to our right knee, right hand behind us, push down. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look over. And I kind of like this photo behind me here because it helps me to think about looking back onto maybe a walkway that I was on up here, or just somewhere in the past that took me someplace in this year that I hadn't been before. Some of you may think, wow, I don't know, I felt so captive and trapped at times that I'm not sure I went someplace I'd never been before, but I bet you did. And if it wasn't an actual space and place, it was someplace in your mind or something different that you found. And you learned from it, and you are going to take it with you as we slowly untwist and come back forward here. Sit up straight and tall, bringing that into our present life now. And then taking and reversing. My right hand's crossing over to my left. Left hand's coming down behind me, really pushing down, getting a long spine, and then taking myself behind me, looking back. Feeling that in the core area here, all the way into the obliques. And looking back at something else that I want to bring with me, a lesson learned, a new friend that I've made, a new concept or connection that I've found in this last year. And then I'm going to slowly turn back forward as I direct my vision with those things in mind and heart that are going to help to give me strength as I move forward here. I want to find a flow in my spine, a flow in my body. And take your hands to your knees and let's open up with a nice cow and find ourselves closing in with cats. Thinking about the doors that we've opened, things we've received, and what we've closed. We've released, what we've let go of. Flow with your cat and your cow. And let's do one more set of that, please. And coming back in to sitting up straight, tall, strong, proud. Let's take our arms out to the side here. And don't know about you, but this year I've felt pulled in a lot of different directions. And sometimes that was really good for me because I was feeling kind of stuck. So I want you to pull out from your right hand as if someone is helping you, assisting you to come into some place that you've resisted. Or maybe it's yourself taking you into a deeper place in yourself that you've been resisting. Let yourself come over, let yourself feel strong in your obliques here as you keep yourself level with your arms really reaching out and pulling in one direction. And then bringing yourself back slowly into center, into balance. Find yourself on your sits bones. Now take your hands, place them upward. Let's go to the left. Our left side is our receiving side. Right? It's our feminine side. And we're going to reach out into the new year. Okay? We're going to reach, and we're going to find that support, that lengthening, that strengthening that we may need from other people to help us sometimes to kick us in the butt, right? To get us moving. And then bring yourself back slowly. Arms rise. And exhale, hands come down. Let's take chin to chest as we let our hands come down. And releasing shoulders down there. Let's go ahead and take some circles with our shoulders. Use your breath. And find your reversal. And one more. And then left comes up and back, and then right comes up and back. And we're just going to take turns with them. I want you to feel that all the way down into your waist. Okay, really activating those shoulders in this really kind of juicy, sexy little movement here of our shoulders. A lot of times this is put into different dance forms. And let's reverse. And just feel into where you may have a little catch going on. And relaxing both shoulders down. Feel that warmth there. And now squeeze. Squeeze them both up into your earlobes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let's go ahead and squeeze into our palms, making fists. Ooh, can you feel that? Squeezing up into your bicep and tricep area. Squeezing. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, releasing and letting go. Letting go any strife that you may have felt from this last year. Not that this was a difficult year, right? But anyways, let's do that again, just in case. Squeezing shoulders up, all that weight that we've carried there. Let's take our fists and make them fists of peace, right? Because these fists are going to release in a very powerful way to let us go. Let us shine. Go ahead, inhale deeply here. And exhale. Release and let go. And now I want you to play with your torso. I want you to move the way it feels good for you. Close your eyes. We're not worried about anything anyone else is doing. We've just done a lot with some different movements in our chest, in our shoulders, in our waist, with our neck. So many of you have been doing your yoga practice for a while now. So you know how to tune in. You can be your own best teachers. And bring this into your day, right? Don't need to wait for anybody to give you that medicine of movement. That's all up to you. And then let's just take our hands down, shake them out, shake our arms out, shake out our torso. And then let's start with our legs. Let's start to bring each foot off the ground into that bent knee. As I do, I'm just sliding my hands, running them up and down my thigh just because I can. Maybe they slide a little bit down onto my shin. And keeping my back straight. Okay? I'm going to keep that back straight as we're kind of marching our feet out, marching forward. And I'm going to take my hands forward, keep my feet going, and start taking fists and releasing fingers. And just let my legs keep moving and start to open up my arms to the side as I march, and take my palms up and bring my arms upward, maybe coming into a V. I'm still working my fingers, working the joints in my fingers as I open and close my hands. Take myself back down to shoulders, take palms down, and release my arms to the side and come to stillness. Feel that vibration just kind of all over the place right now. Let's open the side body. I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to slide it down my right leg of the chair. Left arm comes up. And I want you to play with this too. Maybe this feels good. Maybe you want to take your hand behind your head.
Maybe you just want to come into a bent elbow or hand at your hip. All right, explore. Find what feels good for you. And let's come on over. Press down into that left sits bone. Press, 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 because it's going to want to lift up. Find your length. Find what feels right for you in your arm. Hold in tight into your core and lift yourself up, sliding your hand back up as support on that leg there. Lifting, lengthening, hold on to that chair leg. Okay, really hold and kind of pull now and lift the other arm up. See if you can lengthen through your spine and your ribs some more by that counter action of holding on tightly, lifting with the other arm, and then letting that left arm come down, releasing the right, feeling that my left arm is now about, I don't know, several inches longer than my right. So we need to balance that out. And this is what this proves about movement and how important it is, and to balance our movements, okay? I'm going to take my left hand to the left leg of the chair. I'm going to hold on tight, push down with my feet, lift my arm up, right arm up, really lengthen. Feel those ribs open when I do that. And again, do you want to keep your arm like this? Here, 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 explore, okay? And let's go ahead on over. Breathing. And slowly, with a good, strong, centered core area, lifting back up. Hold on tightly to the underside of the chair or that chair leg as I'm going to lift, like trying to lift myself out of the chair with my right arm, pulling upwards, okay? And my sits bones keeping me on the chair, but my left arm is strong and it's pulling there as the other arm reaches up, okay? And exhale. Let's take that right arm down. Let the left arm release. And find both arms at about level now, or evenness, right? And now let's do something that actually is really good for gastric reflux. I don't know if any of you have that or not. And it's something we've done before, but it's just come to my attention lately that it helps with that as well. I'm going to take our hands, interlace, push away, okay? I'm going to push away here. I'm going to inhale, lift. And exhale, bring my hands back in front. And do that a few times on your own breath. I'm thinking that it might help that because we are opening up in this area that gets tight with that reflux. Really lengthening. Coming back forward. Let's do that one more time. Good. And then releasing. Let's take hands behind us and interlace there. Push down and really come to the edge of your chair so you can extend those hands and arms back. Depends again on the kind of chair you're working out of. And let's just release our heart up. Squeeze those shoulders down and back. Nice. And then coming up. And I know, no matter what, type of year we're going to come into, we're going to want to be strong in our legs, right? That are going to take us forward. We want to make sure that they're nice and strong and pliable. So if you have that other chair, or if you have a strap, we're going to do a little bit of leg extensions here, okay? And then we're also going to do something for the upper body. So I'm going to go ahead and lasso the bottom of my foot. I'm going to lasso it. And if you have that chair, that extension, you can put your leg out there. And again, we don't want to hyperextend in the knee. So keep your knee a little bit bent and find the muscles that are around your knee that you can pull into there, okay? And we're going to take one strap in one hand and one in the other. And I'm going to take my leg out forward first, okay? And I'm going to sit up really straight and tall. So I'm not taking my weight way back into the chair, still maintaining a good straight spine. Find that in my arms, I've got to be strong to hold my leg up, right? And again, don't need to thoroughly lock out that knee. I'd like you to have a little bend in there. And from here, let's just take a little circle here with our extended leg. And that comes into a hip lubrication here. And releasing and going back in the opposite way. And finding that length in the back of your legs too. And if you can, now go ahead and open up that leg to the side. It may go just a little bit over the side, maybe more, trying to maintain that other knee facing me, foot down. And here we're going to take maybe some bigger circles. So you might need to let go of some of the strap and not have it held down as closely. And we're just going to work with that hip opening in nice big circles, using the strength of our arm and reversing that. Really getting a sense of freedom in our hips this way. And we need that sense of freedom as we walk proudly and powerfully and fearlessly into 2021 or just into our next moment. Go ahead and extend that leg out. Take the straps into just your left hand. And then maybe by doing that, you can extend that leg out a little bit farther out to the left and then bring it forward. Okay, so we're just taking it level and we're going out and bringing it in. Use your breath if you like. And one more time. Good. And go ahead and bend into that knee and take the strap out and find it in the other. And again, if you're not using a strap and you have a chair, you can extend your leg out there. You can do some things, hold on to your other chair as well, and that will help you to maintain that movement. Okay, so first my leg is extended outward and straight, and I'm just going to find that lengthening there. And again, if you just got it laying on another chair, that works as well. Just keep your spine lifted upwards. That makes you work your core a little bit more. And let's take some tiny little circles here. If you don't have the strap, it's really going to work your core. So hold on to your other chair and maybe let your back take an angle. Okay. Again, listen to what your body's telling you. Let's go ahead and reverse that. Tiny little circles, mostly working again at that extension of the back side of your leg with your knee slightly bent, muscles engaged around that kneecap. Okay. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and let the leg come out And find that nice extension outward there. And go ahead and take some big circles. I think it's better to take that strap in one hand. That gives you more freedom. You can do that. Can I maintain a straight spine and do this though? That's the thing. And I'm working my arm. I'm going to take it in the opposite way. And I'm going to sit up straight and tall. Going from extended out, see how far out I can take it, and then bring it back forward. Opening up all the way in that inner thigh, opening up through your hip in this lateral rotation here, taking it out and bringing it in. You can also do this with your foot on the ground, knee bent, and just opening and closing the hip that way. And then bringing ourselves back forward, sitting up straight and tall, and then releasing, bend into your knee and release that strap. And now we're going to use the strap for the upper body. And again, if you don't have a strap, you don't need to, and it can be a leash, it can be a scarf, it can be anything like that. So I'm going to take about the middle of the strap, and I'm going to take it into my right arm. My right arm is going to come straight up here. I'm going to put the strap behind me, okay? And I want to just take my hand on my bicep and turn it inward so that my thumb comes out, my pinky comes in a bit more. And then I'm going to release that arm behind me. The bun seems to be in the way there. So just release it there. If you don't have that other strap, you can just take your left hand to your right elbow there and help to open up this tricep. If you have your strap, take your left hand around your back and you'll get an additional holding on to both ends of the strap if you can. There you go. There I go. And finding as much connection between one hand and the other. And sitting up straight, pulling at your navel, because it's real easy here to let, like I was just doing, let my lumbar spine cave in. I want to bring it back. I want to tighten up my ribs, bring them inward, bring my core and make it strong. And find that nice opening for my shoulders here. Good. And then go ahead and release left arm, right arm, and take the strap, if you have it, into your left arm. Left arm rises up, strap comes behind you. And take that movement a bit here where we're rotating the pinky in and the thumb out, and then releasing that arm behind you. You can just hold here and maintain that. Hold here, maintain, or take this other arm behind you. Find both pieces of the strap, scarf or leash, and begin that opening. Both shoulders, one coming up, one coming back, down. When your hands, if ever, they are able to touch, and it is not a necessary thing, but this will just allow you to find more openness in your shoulder girdle. We don't want to overdo ever any joint, but this just assists in that next step or phase of opening. Finding breath, pulling in my belly again. If you notice, I start going like that. Got to pull it in. Hold on to it. And then release. Both arms out. Strap down. And I'm going to go into a warrior position now, because warriors are going to help take us through this next year. So I'm going to go ahead and take my right leg over the side of my chair, and my right toes come out. You decide which way you're going to be happy with your back leg. Okay, remember we said it can be here. We've talked about you coming down here, okay, onto that block, and sitting up straight and tall and lining everything up, okay? Or extending that leg back and coming onto the ball of that back foot will be a little more active, or coming down onto the heel of that back foot. All right, everybody kind of set up, and then you've got this knee over the front ankle. And I'm going to place the other block there as well. Okay, so here I am, warrior two. That looks good, ladies, really good. And I'm going to go ahead and look over my right fingers. And I just want to sit here and ponder for a bit how I've been a warrior in 2020. What is it that I have stood for? What is it that I have been proud of? What is it that I have worked really hard to do? What have I learned about myself? What challenges have I met? And what are the qualities that I maintain in myself, that I possess, that assists me in getting through some of those tougher times? Okay. Calling on my own warrior spirit for the times that I need. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this warrior into an extended side angle, bending into my front arm and placing that forearm on my thigh. Other arm can come up, can come into a bend, it can come to your waist. Where do you want it to go? That bent right arm can extend down onto the block at any height you might like. And find what is your expression here. Okay, your strong expression, that's your personalized expression, not trying to do what anybody else does, but what is right for you. And I've learned that from some of you this year who have really, really walked your own true path. And you've made your decisions solidly about what is best and most important for you. Like I said, I'm more of a student than I am a teacher. I love learning from everyone, everything. Go ahead and take that upper arm, if you have it, raised up, and take it so the bicep and the ear come close together. And I've got my back leg extended. So I'm really pushing into that foot on the ground. If your leg is bent, then push into the sole of your foot into the ground. Both feet really solidly, almost so solid that if you kept pushing, you would lift yourself off of your chair. And then raising that arm up, bringing my torso up, finding the beauty again and the strength in that warrior two. And now I want to say thank you. Thank you for keeping me strong. I'm going to take my back arm either onto that chair, that back leg, or around my waist. And I want to give gratitude, reaching up towards the heavens, reaching my heart up and saying thank you. Thank you to whoever may have come into my life that helped me, that supported me. Thank you to myself for what I did to solve a problem or just to find my way. Thank you to the tears I may have cried. Those are cleansing. And then bringing myself slowly back up, finding that warrior two expression. And exhale, hands down. releasing, and let's go into the other direction. Just slowly finding yourself coming back to the opposite side. If you're using blocks, wherever they might be, under one leg or on your hand facing one side, and just everybody get situated again. Okay, so no rush, no worries. Look for alignment though. Again, in that front knee over ankle. Okay, if you're using the block, that's right up against there. And if you're using the block underneath your shin, find how that's going to line up for you, or place that leg way back. And what will help you get into whichever place is taking your hands on your chair and just pressing down a bit so that you can press your feet wherever they're going to be, or your attachment shin to block on it in a solid way. And then releasing our arms. So now my left arm reaches forward, reaching into that feminine side of me. My right arm is behind me. This right arm is releasing, palm down. This left hand is receiving, palm up. And I'm spreading my arms apart. I'm feeling whatever I'm releasing and whatever I'm receiving coming into the center of my space, into my heart space. Breathing here, nice and strong. Taking that warrior spirit with me. Things I've learned into the future. Bending into my front arm, my left arm, taking that forearm to my thigh there. Upper arm lifts, really staying long in that side body, long in my torso. Maybe my left arm comes down to a block. So remember, there's 3 heights there. But let your weight happen here. Let you feel supported. Let your arm extend up, fingers reaching up towards and through the ceiling. Take support from your feet, groundedness there. Again, so much that we're almost lifting ourselves out of our seat here. Taking breaths in and out in a slow, methodical way. And then right arm can come across if you like, bicep by the ear. And again, that arm doesn't have to be extended up. You might have had it on your hip or in a bend. Again, you guys are working now at what feels right for you, being your best teacher, your best friend. And the right arm comes back up if you lowered yours. And I take my forearm back to my thigh if I had it lower. Pull in my navel all the way around my waistline. Lift myself back up. Arms extend outward. And then I'm going to come into that gratitude place. One arm down, one arm up. That arm that's down can go down. That leg can come onto the knee that's forward. If you have one forward, can come onto your chair. Can come and wrap behind you. Go with your intuition on what feels right for you. And breathe. And smile. Be grateful. Not necessarily grateful that 2020 is over, right? We don't ever want to wish away time or be thankful something is done. We're just thankful that we had that experience and that we're stronger. We're ready now for what's to come in this next moment. And the next moment says, let's come out of this slowly, releasing our arms, one forward, one back, really opening up through that heart. And exhale. Hands down. And let's find ourselves back centered and forward. Block, strap, everything can go out of the way. And just find yourself. I want to take these chairs of my daughter home with me. They're so much more comfortable than the chair that I have at home. I'm working with this pregnant mama, and the chair she has just looks so uncomfortable. And I want to come over and give her a comfortable chair. But hopefully, you guys have found a chair that works for you by now. You've got blankets and all kinds of support for yourselves. So let's go ahead and take a few breaths here. Feeling the heat that we've acquired through this last hour. Feeling the calm. Feeling the release of stagnant energy. Knowing that movement is our best medicine. And breath is movement. Remember that word spanda. Spanda, spark to breath, breath to movement, and then movement to love. And remember that intuitive nature of movement. When you feel like just moving, put on some music and just dance. People say, oh, I can't dance. Everybody can dance. Everybody has their own rhythm, their own way. People in wheelchairs can dance. Dance happens first in our minds. Movement in our minds. And going, taking hands at heart center in prayer, Anjali Mudra, or left and right hand covering your heart, whichever is most comfortable for you. Taking a couple breaths here together. Inhale. Exhale, releasing. Inhale and be ready. Ready not necessarily for this next year, but ready for your next breath. Let's keep things simple, slow, sacred, and sweet. From my heart to yours, thank you for your ever presence. It's always a gift. Namaste. And then I'll say, as people do at the end of anything that happens on the 31st,